my YouTube channel on the topics of ER diagram and normalization. ER diagram and normalization is related with the another matters, that is attribute and entity. Attribute entity, what is the entity? Any object we are seeing, that is their student is an object, teacher is an object, class is an object, and also subject or course is an object. So many objects we are seeing at environment. Students is an object here, and attributes is roll number, name, class, gender, address, date of birth, age, etc. Also attribute have some definition. This is a simple attribute, gender is a simple attribute, and address is a composite attribute, multi-valued attribute. We know already why it is multi-valued, because address is storing so many items, that is at the rate, semicolon, slash, colon, etc. Date of birth is a stored attribute, that is date of birth. Age is a derived attribute, because we are getting age from the date of birth to current date. So attribute is different types of definition, but it is a matter, it is a property of the student, and also object. Student means object. And now we come, that is a degree of the relationships. So we are entering as the relationships of the database, relationships. The database contain data. Suppose one student A, one student B, two student is there. One student containing the 7 items, that is the enrollment number, name, class, sex, address, date of birth, age. Enrollment number is here primary key. Primary key, that is another non-key attribute, that is name, class, sex, address, and date of birth and age, also dependent to primary key. And primary key is different according to the student. So each primary key or enrollment number is specific, unique primary key for each student. One primary key of one table is related to another primary key of the another table, and the primary key of another table is called foreign key. So one table primary key is the key is primary key, another table the same key is called foreign key. And this is the relation that is primary key making to another attribute. It is a relation, and degree of relations is different. But what we have to do for normalization, what we will get by normalization? Normalization remove the repetition of the information. If the information is repeatedly coming, when information is generating, the same information is repeatedly occur at the same table or different table. That is repetition of information, reducing the redundancy. And the repetition of information will occur, the redundancy will be occurred. Redundancy means that is the so many data, same data is storing at the different location of the or different tables of the database. Single relation of one time. When the relationships is forming, there are relationships, maybe there are different types of relationships can make of one candidate key or one primary key. When primary key makes the relationships with another table, it may be another relations of the primary key, maybe. So relationships will be simple, not a composite relationships is there. Composite relationships makes the information wrong. Avoiding the interaction between FD. Functional dependency will be simple. No composite functional dependency will be there of this normalization form. Potential violation of integrity. That is, it is not a dependency, but it is going to form the dependency. So at the normalization form, we have to remove the repetition of the knowledge. Multi-relationships will be removed. Redundancy of the data will be removed, and also the potential violation of the integrity will be removed. After removing of those, we are going to the first normal form. And this is the first normal form where we are going. But before going to first normal form, we want to discuss on the degree of the relationships. Unary as a degree, binary, ternary, and n-nary. Unary means on the degree of the relationships is with the same entity. two students managing the class. Entity is same, that is student, or two student is reading at the class, where entity is the same, student, and this is all unary relationships, binary. When two different entities making the relation, teacher and student, teacher teaches student, so there are two items making the relation. Ternary relationships have three items. One is teacher, another is student, another is subject. So three item is there and making the relationship between them, and this is called ternary relationships. In the relations, when the relationships greater than two, it is called in relationships. Cardinality of the relationships. When the relationships is forming and these relationships is going to, when the relationships is making the showing the cardinality, how many parts, what is the relation and how this relationship is forming. First we are coming one-to-one relations, that is making the relations one-to-one, that is one person consists to one passport. Passport is individual, so passport is unique for each student, each man, and so it is a making relation one-to-one. Another is one teacher teaches the many students. Here, one to many relationships is forming. Another is one student, not one student, so many students is reading at the school. So here relationships with the school, with the student. Here are many to one relationships forming. So another is many to many. When so many teachers is teaching at the class with other so many students, here relationships is many to many. So mainly four relationships is we are seeing. One is one-to-one relationship, one to many to one, and many to many relationships. And now this is the cardinality of the relation. And now we are coming as a normalization of the database. When we are accessing the data from the database, we have to the normalization process of the database. Database consists table. Each table consists some row and columns. Each row is independent, but columns showing the schema. And we want to establish the perfect information we are taking from this database, and then normalization is the first process. What is the normalization? Normalization remove the multi-value attribute, and now see that enrollment number, name, class, age and subject showing one table. But this table also showing the different matter, different attribute at the same column, same row. Math and science of the student enrollment number 1 is allotted. Another is history and row number 2. And row number 3, the multiple value is showing at the row. It show a multiple value will be removed, and after removing the multiple value, repeated group is not present here, and then this showing atomicity is present. Atomicity means the one relationships, one value at each row, each making row making one value. So at first normal form we are seeing that row number 1 math, row number 2 science, row number 2 history, geography and art is showing. It is called first normal form. And now we are coming second normal form. Second normal form, remove the redundant data and remove the composite key. Composite key means one key, that is called, it is primary key, is differently related with the two types of relation is making. One type relation is making, but another type of relation is making with the on non-key attribute. So remove the redundant data and non-key, non-primary, non-prime attribute functionally dependent on the primary candidate key. And at the second normal form, it is the fault. So we have to remove the second normal form. First remove is, we remove the redundant data, and second remove, we will remove the composite key. And now we are coming the third normal form. But before coming as the third normal form, first see the example of the second normal form. The table showing employee ID, name, department ID, department name and age. but this table is showing the two items, that is department ID and department name. These two are dependent with each other. So a dependency is two. One dependency is employee ID on the dependent ID or department ID. Another dependency is department ID with department name. So we are splitting the table by two. One employee ID, name, department ID and age. Another is department ID and department name. And after after creating two tables, we have already removed the composite key dependency. This is the second normal form of the normalization. Now we are coming to the third normal form. Third normal form, this is the normal form where transit dependency have to remove. Transitive dependency, what is this? When the dependency showing from X dependent with Y, also Z another item, another entity which is dependent on Y. And this dependency, if some fault value, fault query result, so transitive dependency have to remove. See, employee is an entity, task is an entity, and this employee and task relation is many to many. Tax is about tax is so many tax on the employee and so many employees related to the same tax. So it is a relationships of many to many, and we have to see that if we make query for these relationships, we will get fault value or fault answer of the query. Duplicate row will be generated. So we have to remove this item after entering another table that is called assignment. Employee and assignment relation is one to many. Assignment with task relationships many to one. So new table is formed, that is assignment, and after forming new table, the composite key dependent or as transit dependency is removed. See another table example, and this is the showing the third normal form. So this table showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 column and row. So this table have transit dependency. How this transit dependency is possible here? This is the first normal form. First normal form showing the no composite dependency is there. But at the second normal form, we have created three table. One table containing employee ID with job code with job another table, and third table employee ID, name, state code and home state. And this is the formation of the three table, but transit dependency is present. How transit dependency is present here? Because state code and home state, it is interdependent with them. So we have to form third table, and third table is formed as a third normal form. It is employee ID with job code with job, employee ID, name and state code, and also state code with home state. After creating this fourth table, we are getting the third normal form, and at this normal form, transit dependency is vanished. But in this way, if we proceed, we will reach at fourth dependency, fourth normal form, fifth normal form, and also the several normal form will be arised. But what we are getting, if normal form is increased, performance issue is coming at the increasing of the normal form. Granularity increases, complexity increases. That is, dust information is created. After creating the so many normal forms, we are getting the complexity, and this complexity will increase the time complexity of the database. As this is the poor database performance will be increased. So greater number of table, larger the query. This is the problem of increasing of the normal form. This is the end of the video, and please subscribe this channel for latest video of this series.